afternoon. Welcome to a new year. That's right. It's 2024. It's a Monday, so it's a great combination for everything we're doing right now. Don't worry though, if you're hungover, we have a list of hungover tips for that headache you have. You're nursing here because you didn't drink enough water. Let's go ahead and get into our headlines. Today on Before Coffee. Queen of Denmark, Margaret II, announces abdication live on television.
Japan issues a tsunami warning, and we look at the big waves that have been crashing into California all weekend.
World's most powerful passport. How is Spain overtaking Singapore to the top spot?
And consulting firm agrees to settlement over opioids.
Remedies for the morning after. Your 12 hangover cures from around Europe.
And speaking of which, it is National Bloody Mary Day on January 1st, 2024 on Before Coffee.
All right, our first news story. I have some short stories today, but they are interesting for me. This is from Euronews, and with the help of AP, the Queen of Denmark, Margrethe, sorry, I said Margaret earlier, but it's Margrethe II, made the announcement during her traditional New Year's speech that she's abdicating on the 14th of January, 2024, after a 52-year reign. The 83-year-old made the announcement during her traditional New Year's Eve televised speech. On January 14th, 2024, 52 years after succeeding my beloved father, I will step down as Queen of Denmark. I will leave the throne to my son, Crown Prince Frederik, she said. Her role as monarch of Denmark is largely ceremonial. The date she said she would step down coincides with the anniversary of the 1972 death of her father, King Frederik IX. She succeeded him on the throne the same year at the age of 31. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen confirmed that the decision is a news release that paid tribute to the 83-year-old monarch, offering a heartfelt thank you to Her Majesty the Queen for a lifelong dedication and tireless efforts for the kingdom. The 1.82 meter tall chain-smoking Margaret has been one of the most popular public figures in Denmark. She often walked the streets of Copenhagen virtually unescorted and won the admiration of Danes for her warm manners and her talents as a linguist and designer. A keen skier, she was a member of the Danish Women's Air Force unit as a princess, taking part in judo courses and endurance tests in the snow. Margrethe remained tough even as she grew older. In 2011, at the age of 70, she visited Danish troops in the southern Afghanistan wearing a military jumpsuit. As monarch, she crisscrossed the country and regularly visited Greenland and the Faroe Islands, the two semi-independent territories which are part of the Danish realm. She was often met everywhere by cheering crowds. Truly a loved monarch. There was even a comment on this article that says, "Seems like she was the most popular monarch, loved by the Danes." And it does seem that way. I agree. She really seemed like a down-to-earth monarch, didn't let it go to her head. I'm not better than you. I'm just another human that happened to be born in a certain family that happens to be the royal family of Denmark. But as I said earlier, it's a mostly ceremonial position, so it's not like she had to make any big decisions that would cause, hatred among the Danes. She basically had it all set for her. All I have to do is to be a decent person and be loved by everyone. And I did it.
How do you resign from that?
Yeah.
How do you resign from that? You just be an old witch now? Like, I hate you all.
It's time for me to retire. I don't know. I guess it's like retirement. She's 83, I guess.
Move out? Just to move out, go live in a cabin somewhere?
I don't know. I guess she's just going to take her pension. Maybe she has like a royal pension and she's like, I'm going to take my pension. My son can get the real tax money dollars.
Probably already lives on a giant pension, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the end of my story. Right. Sweet and short.
Oh, I'll tell you two stories. Okay, well, urgent news. This is from AP. Yuri Kajiyama Japan issued a tsunami alerts and ordered evacuations following a series of earthquakes on Monday. It started a fire and trapped people under rubble on the west coast of its main island. The Japan Meteorological Agency reported more than a dozen quakes off the coast of Ishikawa and nearby prefectures shortly after 4 p.m. Japan time. One of them preliminary magnitude of 7.6. The agency issued a major tsunami warning. 7.6, pretty big. The agency issued a major tsunami warning for Ishikawa, lower level tsunami warnings for an advisory of the rest of the western coast of the island of Honshu, as well as the northernmost of its main islands, Hokkaido. Japanese public broadcaster NHK TV warned torrents of water could reach as high as 5 meters, 16.5 feet, and urged people to flee highland or the top of nearby buildings as quickly as possible. NHK said the tsunami waves could keep returning and warnings could continue to be aired hours after initial alert. Several aftershocks also rocked the region. Government spokesman Yoshimasa Hayashi said it was critical for people in coastal areas to get away from the oncoming tsunami. Every minute counts. Please evacuate the safe areas immediately. Tsunami of about 3 meters or 10 feet high was expected in Niigata and other prefectures on the western coast of Japan, and waves were confirmed to have reached parts of the coastlines. So emergency basically declaration if you're on the coast or anywhere near a coast in Japan or even the mainland of Asia. Maybe look out for giant waves. And speaking of giant waves, California was getting pounded for like the last 4 days by huge waves, just eroding the bay, the beaches and drenching homes. Following the last 2 storms that gave the Bay Area a solid drenching. This is from CBS Bay Area. Following last week's 2 storms that gave the Bay Area a solid drenching, yet another winter storm is yet to bring more precipitation to the region starting Tuesday. After sunny New Year's Day, forecasters said the incoming Pacific storm will keep things wet around the Bay Area through Thursday. The National Weather Service said Sunday expect a half-inch of rain inland and around 1.5 to 2 inches near the coast. The bulk of the rain will move through Tuesday and Wednesday. Strong winds could down trees and branches and cause power outages. So if you watch the news, you've been seeing them giant waves just smashing into California for days and days as people's multi-million-dollar homes just kind of, they go, wow, I love our coastal home until this happens. Back to you.
Okay. Let's go ahead and cover what the best passport in Europe is. Or actually in the world. And Europe wins again, I guess, is what they're saying. This is by Angela Simons on Euronews Travel. European countries win out in this powerful passport index. Spain now has the world's most powerful passport, according to a new index. The ranking from visa information website visaguide.world shows Spain ahead of Singapore, which held the top spot in popular Henley Passport Index released in October. Japan, in the 15th place, is the only other non-European country to make to the top 20 in the visaguide.world index. Germany takes 3rd place, followed by Italy, France, the Netherlands, Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Czechia, Portugal, Hungary, and Luxembourg. Austria is in the 16th place with Switzerland, Belgium, Ireland, Poland, rounding up the top 20. Both the quarterly Henley Passport Index and the visaguide.world Passport Index examines the number of destination passport holders can access without a visa. Although generally considered the authority, Henley is yet to release its latest ranking. In October, it listed Singapore in 1st place, followed by Japan in 2nd, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, South Korea, Spain, Sweden all in joint 3rd, based purely on the number of destinations they can visit visa-free. VisaGuide.world takes other factors into consideration, creating a destination significance score for each travel destination. This factors the type of entry policy a country enforces on passport. Visa-free, ETA, visa on arrival, e-visa, embassy-approved visa, passport-free travel, or banned entry. It also assigns points for the country's GDP, global power, and tourism development. Visa-free access to the country with a high destination significance score earns a passport more points in the index than an entry to a country with a low score. As of December 2023, Spanish passport holders can travel to 160 countries and territories without a visa. Although Singaporean passport holders can travel 164 countries, Spain gains points for the many places it can visit with just an ID card under the European Union. Singapore passport holders have the visa-free access to 15 countries that Spain doesn't. These include Burkina Faso, Cambodia, Ivory Coast, Cuba, Djibouti, Ghana, Guinea, Indonesia, Kenya, Laos, Myanmar, Rwanda, Tanzania, I can never say this one, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. I don't know why my mouth can't say that word. Spain, meanwhile, can access 11 countries and territories visa-free that Singapore can't. These include the Falkland Islands, the Marshall Islands, Palau, Sao Tome, Principe, Seychelles, the Solomon Islands, Timor-Leste, Tonga, Tuvalu, Ukraine, and Venezuela. Well, I didn't know Singapore can't access Ukraine. That's interesting. Visa Guide World does not specify the destination significance score of each country, but these may also affect the outcome of the index. Germany has visa-free access to the same 160 countries as Spain, with the two countries mutually accepting one another, but Spain enjoys the ease of visa on arrival in Papua New Guinea and Togo, whereas Germany has to apply for an e-visa. Wow, such small things can really drop your score, I guess, when it comes to this. I don't know if it's a new index. I'm pretty sure it's probably an older index, but I've always been using the Henley Passport Index, which is just like, you can go wherever you want with this index. Now, these are the countries you can go with your passport. But this one's really interesting because it is taking into account, like, how, by the way, the country this passport belongs to, how good of a country is it? Or also, what do they actually have to do if they go to Burkina Faso, you know? Can they actually, do they have to actually still apply for a visa, but they're allowed to go, you know?
In some countries, you got to apply for an exit visa, and you got to pay to leave. So I had to do that. Had to do that in Colombia.
Oh, you want to leave? That's cute. I'm trying to look for where the UK here is on. The UK is 28th. I'm trying to find the United States. Okay, here. United States is 40th with a score of 85.19. It has 143. So, as we just said, Spain has 160 visa-free places it can go, but the United States only has 143. There's 4 where you need ETA. I don't know what ETA stands for. Does it explain that? No, it doesn't say. And then a visa on arrival has 35 of those. E-visa has 21, and visas required is 22. So, in comparison to Spain, that's a lot more things that you need. Oh, so here we go. ETA is an electronic travel authorization. So, I guess you have to be like, I'm going somewhere. Okay, we know you're coming here. I guess you've told somebody on the internet that you're going. Some authority needs to know that you're going to a new country. So, actually, it has like only 4 of those. So, and it has 0 countries that are passport free. Yeah, so the United States can go to 0 places passport free. You need a passport to go anywhere with the U.S. Which isn't fair if you think about it, right? Because in Europe, we have the Schengen zone, we have the EU. You don't need a passport. So that's like 27 countries that are freely just like letting you go through, but there's an additional 20 countries that are also letting Spain go through, because that's 43. So.
And it's weird because sometimes you need a passport to go to, say, the Virgin Islands, even though they're part of the United States. And they don't even stamp your passport. They just don't look at it. So that's weird too. I'll look like Canada. Canada will just look at your passport without stamping it. As long as you know you got one.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to get a passport book if you went to Canada a lot.
Different words. Yeah, you need a passport book as an adult anyway. But yeah.
But I mean, you need more, because if you went to Canada a lot, right, you'd be full of stamps of just Canada. So that's probably why they don't stamp you.
If you're a daily commuter, it's a whole. I'm sure
that's
it's
my story.
Deal. All right then.
Unless you wanted to ask
Morning.
about any other countries you're curious about, but mostly.
Nah, I think I'll find out when I get there, right? I mean, like, I went to Japan. I didn't need a passport to get to Japan, but I was in the military then, so.
Oh, yeah.
This is news about a consulting firm from AP. The consulting firm McKinsey agrees to $78 million settlement with insurers over opioids. This is from Deanne Durbin of AP. Consulting firm McKinsey and Company has agreed to pay $78 million to settle claims from insurance and healthcare funds that its work with drug companies helped fuel an opioid addiction crisis. The agreement was revealed late Friday in documents filed in the federal court in San Francisco. The settlement must still be approved by a judge. Under the agreement, McKinsey would establish a fund to reimburse insurers, private benefit plans, and others for some or all of their prescription opioid costs. Okay, so some insurance companies are going to get richer. The insurers argue that McKinsey worked with Purdue Pharma, the maker of OxyContin, to create the employee aggressive marketing and sales taxes to overcome doctors' reservations about the highly addictive drugs. Insurers said they forced them to pay for prescription opioids rather than safer, non-addictive and lower-cost drugs, including over-the-counter pain medication. They also had to pay for the opioid addiction treatment that followed. From 1999 to 2021, nearly 280,000 people in the United States died from overdoses of prescription opioids, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Insurers argue that McKinsey worked with Purdue Pharma even after the extent of the opioid crisis was apparent. The settlement is the latest in years-long effort to hold McKinsey accountable for its role in the opioid epidemic, or the opioid opidemic, which is two new words I just invented. In February 2021, the company agreed to pay nearly $600 million to U.S. states, the District of Columbia, and 5 U.S. territories. In September, the company announced a separate $230 million settlement agreement with school districts and local governments. As for comment Saturday, McKinsey referred to the statement released on Saturday in September. As we have stated previously, we continue to believe that our past work was lawful and deny allegations to the contrary, the company said, adding that it reached the settlement to avoid protracted litigation. McKinsey said it stopped advising clients on any opioid-related business in 2019. So there you go, short and sweet. I look forward to the insurance companies now to get this huge settlement. They're cutting everybody's rates worldwide. I'm sure that's happening immediately. But good news for those guys. Their stock prices will be just dandy. All those people addicted to opioids and all those children that just dropped dead one day. I don't know what they're getting out of this, but hey, at least some rich folks are making out.
Yeah, that's great. Somebody has to win in this world, I suppose.
Yeah. At least they got the point that somebody, hey, look at you, you're deceptive. Now let's go have some cocktails. As the lawyers just get out there and,
This will handle them for the next 5 years until they do it again or something.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We need to be recovered for all the treatment we provided to these people that we provided for free because we're a government entity or an insurance or whatever. And we get our money back. But the people that died, I don't know what they get out of this. They get nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, it just incidental to our bad practices.
Sorry, guys. Everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah. Damn you. Well, at least the insurance companies got their money. They're all happy.
What a scam. Anyway, let's talk about remedies for the morning after New Year's. That's right. Here are the 12 hangover cures that David Morquand has decided he's going to talk about here on Hero Knows Culture. And we're also going to talk about them. From pickle juice to vodka socks to bird droppings, here are the post-drinking cures you may need in your life after a big night like the 31st of December. Before you start thinking about your New Year's resolutions, all those promises to hit the gym, the prospect of dry January or vegan January, you'll find first need to get rid of your hangover. Drink responsibly and all that, but we all know that the evening of the 31st rhymes with jettisoning your best intentions into the sun and overindulging when it comes to hooch. Lucky for you, that we're about to share you the go-to hangover remedies around Europe. You may not be familiar with some of these, and they may come to ensure a smoother start to the new year. First, Katerverstuck from Germany. There's a word for everything in Germany. A hangover is known as a Katzensjammer, literally cat's wailing. So it's no surprise that their hangover breakfast, Katerverstuck or tomcat snack, features a pickled herring wrapped around a pickle and cucumbers and onions. It works. But do not expect your breath to be able to shear sheep and make cats wail a little louder. No kidding. That is smelly. Belgium also has herring with a herring salad. They marinate their herring with onions, peppers, yogurt, and paprika, and the yogurt really does help. Then you've got pickle brine in Poland. Poles favor drowning a glass of brine from sour pickles to ease their morning doldrums. As you may have noticed from the first 3 entries on this list, pickles are a central item for getting hung under, purely because their concentration of potassium and sodium helps replenish your electrolytes. Some bars even offer a shot of bourbon with the pickle juice chaser. Brandy-infused sparrow droppings. Hungry. Yep, it's a thing. It's probably the one we'd least recommend on this list. Some Hungarians believe that adding sparrow droppings to brandy will help alleviate a hangover. Quite why is beyond us, considering said droppings probably contain parasites. But full marks for originality and making the cure sound worse than the ailment itself. However, if you do manage to convince a wee sparrow to come defecate into your glass, call a circus. Fame and fortune are just around the corner. Vodka socks, Estonia. An old-fashioned Estonian remedy that is one of our favorites is involving soaking a pair of socks in vodka, wearing them under the pair of thick socks, and sitting back with a cup of hot tea. There's a method to this madness as long as it is about fighting fires with fire. The vodka and hot tea will induce the sweats and therefore release toxins from your system. Back to the old style of the humors, where doctors believed you had humors in your body and you needed to do special elixirs in order to appease the humors. Stews and soups, France. French love a hearty stew or onion soup to cure hangovers, and they're spot on. The saltier the better in order to cure the morning after shakes. This also has a tendency to make cassoulet, a traditional dish composed of white beans, sausage, meat, and goose fat. Now that sounds good. Way better than the herring with yogurt, I'll be honest. It keeps the alcohol from settling in your blood, but good luck if you're not feeling peckish. Midnight spaghetti, Italy. If you still got your wits about you at the stroke of midnight, you can do a lot worse than follow the Italian example of throwing together a spaghetti de mezzanotte, a midnight spaghetti. There's no real trick to it. It's just be tasty and absorb excess alcohol. The preferred dish is aglio e olio, the deliciously simple dish from Naples, for which you'll need spaghetti, garlic, olive oil, and chilies. And if you got any self-respect, don't forget the chopped parsley as a garnish. Okay, David, you don't have to go get so aggro about the freaking garnish. Pizzle, Sicily. One of the more gag-worthy entries, perhaps, for anyone who's tried it. You'll know it's not that bad. It's actually rather good. The traditional snack for hungover Sicilians is a dried bull's penis. Believed to be a block full of proteins, vitamins, and minerals, this old school remedy was also meant to enhance masculinity. Don't know, that's not how science works, but okay. It's not as popular now as it once was. But again, if you can find some thin strips of the dried muscle, you won't find it much different to beef jerky. Tripe soup, Romania. Tripe soup. So good. Much like the French, Romanians know how hot soups after a long night are always a good idea. However, they take it up a notch. When hungover, the Romanians turn to cioba de burta, tripe soup. Indeed, the digestive tract of pigs or cows is made into soup by boiling the innards with garlic and onion. The essentially fatty acid, protein, and salt speed up the recovery process. Bacon! That's more salty food. This is from England. Whether it's humble bacon sandwich or a full English breakfast fry-up, fried bacon provide all the amino acids you're missing. And it's tasty good. Iron Brew, Scotland. The Scots Ba. The carbonated orange drink Iron Brew to revive them after a big night out. And if you ever gone out in Scotland and the locals think this helps, you know they're onto something. Sand. Lots of sand. Ireland. While a lot of these remedies on the list involved food and drinks, the Irish have another solution when you wake up feeling like a batshit in your head. Sand. And plenty of it. You see, Irish legend claims burying yourself up to your neck in cold sand gets your blood pumping and wakes you up. Makes sense. So, silt up this first of the month. Alright, start digging your hole. You live by the beach, right? You can go dig. Well, you're not hungover because you don't drink anymore, but hey.
Well, I ain't nowhere near a beach, man. I tell you that. Anyway, it's called river beaches.
Oh, yeah, I guess. You know? Hey, sand is sand. Whether it's beach sand or river sand.
It's not enough.
Alright, this day in history.
I don't think hangover cures. You're basically just dehydrated. Is all it is.
Yeah, if you drink water after drinking all the alcohol, you'll probably feel better in the morning. That's really the easiest. If you mix
your alcohol with water instead of soda, you'll probably be better.
Yeah.
If you mix, yeah. I don't understand why eating stuff is going to make you feel better. I think your stomach's like, no, don't put anything more in me till I get rid of what's here.
Well, this is the night after, right? So if you're gonna throw up, you've already done it.
Yeah, all those. You should puke in the morning if you don't feel good. Just get rid of that crap in your stomach. Just puke it out, man. Puke it out. Your body's telling you it don't like it. This day in history. Do you want a
certain section of this video, by the way?
Yeah, I sent you a video, so I'm gonna stretch this out because okay.
But what part of it do you want?
Any part of it you want.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's like a minute and a half.
Oh, I can just do the whole thing then. Yeah, that's fine.
If you want. So this day in history, Florentine statesman and ruler in 1449, if you can remember that far back. This is back before they even had hangovers. So 1449, Florentine statesman, ruler and patron of arts. Patron, thinking of. Speaking of hangovers, Patron, a form of tequila. Patron of arts and letters, Lorenzo de Medici was born in this day in 1449. In 1735, Paul Revere was born, a guy who rode from town to town warning, saying the British are coming, the redcoats are coming, or some variation of that. 1804, Haiti declared its independence from France. In 1808, the United States made the slave trade illegal as the act of prohibiting importation of slaves went into effect. Slavery, however, continued in the country. Yeah, the ban didn't really work completely either. In 1863, in his day, the Emancipation Proclamation. Incidentally, this very same day, and 55 years later, the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed enslaved people in the Confederacy, was issued by U.S. President Abraham Lincoln. So 160 years ago today, Emancipation Proclamation went into effect. 1895, on January 1st, U.S. government official J. Edgar Hoover, who was director of the FBI, built the agency to a highly effective, if occasionally controversial firm of the arm of federal law enforcement, was born. 1895. 1902, the first college football bowl game was held. The University of Michigan defeated Stanford in what became known as the Rose Bowl. However, the game did not become the annual event until 1916. And incidentally, I think Michigan's playing for a national champion. Final Four this year, anyway. 1909, Barry Goldwater, U.S. Senator from Arizona. He was a U.S. presidential Republican presidential candidate. 1964 was born. And, well, he was born in 1909. He wasn't born in 1964. 1919, this day, American author J.D. Salinger, whose only novel, The Catcher in the Rye, won wide critical acclaim, was born. And in 1953, in a sad day, American country and western musician Hank Williams Sr. died. He died in the backseat of a car, very unceremoniously. So, 71 years ago today, Hank Williams Sr., writer of many, many songs in a very short life. 1959, Fulgencio Batista fled Cuba for his regime after his regime was toppled by rebel forces led by Fidel Castro. So it was beginning of the Castro regime in this day in 1959. 1994, North American Free Trade Agreement went into effect, eliminating most tariffs and other trade barriers or products and services passing between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 1995, the World Trade Organization was formally established. Well, 2 years after NAFTA, 1 year after NAFTA, sorry. 1997, singer-songwriter, this is the day for singer-songwriters to die, because this is the day that Townes Van Zandt died in 1997. Famously wrote the outlaw ballad for Willie Nelson and so forth called Poncho and Lefty. 2011, Oprah Winfrey's network, OWN, debuted on television on this day. Other biographies on this day. Christine Lagarde, we covered everybody else on this list. Here's Christine Lagarde, French lawyer and politician, was born in 1956. Alfred Stieglitz, American photographer, was born on January 1st, 1864 in Hoboken, New Jersey. Died July 13th, 1946 in New York City. Featured event. This day in 2002, it is the 22nd birthday, of the Euro. That's right, the Euro was introduced this day in 2002. The monetary unit of the European Union was introduced with the issuance of both currency and coins, and by March 2002, it was the sole legal tender for participating member states. And what day is it today? Not too much, besides being New Year's Day and being, let me go back to screen. Still not enough. My phone hates me. Does what it wants when it wants. Click on a button and nothing happens. My phone hates me. Okay. Get back here. All right, there we are. It's also National Hangover Day, which we just covered, right? Mm-hmm. So, Bloody Mary, known for being a hangover cure, which is also known as the hair of the dog that bit you. And you just stay drunk, you never have a hangover. That's the theory. And it's also known as National Thank God It's Monday Day, which no one's ever said. So, National Thank God It's Monday. I don't know if Monday was going to happen without God here or not, so I don't know what that even means. Back to you. Those are the stories, those are the days, those are the birthdays for today, January 1st, 2024, on Before Coffee.
All right,
Hank
and
Williams.
that's it. That's the first day of the new year. I hope you're having a good one so far, though I guess nothing's really happened yet, and hopefully nothing eventful has happened for you on the first day of the year. On to the next exciting, what we're going to find out everyone's going to do this year. Hopefully not a third war will start, or I guess I should say a sixth war, because there's so many conflicts happening right now. Let's try to reduce that number to this year. And we'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday for Good News Tuesday. Here is your mic drop, your very long mic drop moment.
Oh, you're going to play the whole thing, huh?
Yep.
June, honey, I got a song I wrote just especially for you. I want to sing for just for you.
What is it?
It's called Hey Good Looking.
Oh.
Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? Say, hey, sweet baby, don't you think, baby, we could find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free. So if you want to have fun, come along with me. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? I'm free, I'm ready, so I'll keep it till it's covered with age. Cause I'm writing your name down on every page. Say, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up for me?
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old